Joined now not only by Rick Dempsey, but Kevin Gausman, who was the victorious pitcher last night in the Orioles win over the Nationals. He retired the first 10 guys in a row, first 10, and then struck out 4. What did you feel like when you first got out there last night?
Well, physically I felt good. My goal, I was joking before the game, is to just not get thrown out the game. And so when I got through the second inning and didn't get thrown out the game, I was pretty happy with myself. So, but yeah, definitely a little different. After my last start of only 17 pitches, I think I threw just about 99 more yesterday. So, felt good to get out there and, kind of get my feet wet again. And felt really good in Boston, too, but obviously some extracurricular things happened. So just good to get a win from these guys, definitely.
Kev, I kind of thought, your first game of the season, you really started off pretty good. And then a couple of games with the mechanical issues. And then the two toughest lineups that you faced, the Yankees and then last night against the Nationals, it looked like you really got locked in. I know everybody says, well, the New York game wasn't that good. I didn't see it that way. I saw maybe you made a bad pitch later on in the ball game. That was more pitch selection, wasn't it, than it was any kind of mechanical problems.
Yeah, exactly. Something that I worked in my bullpens to kind of figure out, and something me and Roger talked a lot about. But I was just kind of pulling off the ball a little bit, and I think that's why my fastball is moving probably more than it normally is, and so that's why I was having a tough time. Throwing that good four-seam down and away. It was kind of coming back middle, and like you said, in that New York game, just kind of left some two good pitches to obviously, a guy who can hit the ball out of the ballpark pretty easily. So especially in Yankee Stadium.
Kevin, you struck out 8 in the game. You actually finished the 7th inning with a strikeout. When you look back, what was working for you most during some of those strikeouts?
Really it was everything. I had a good feel for everything last night. Had a good split going last night, and anytime I can throw that going away from their good lefties that they have in their lineup, I'm going to be able to have some success, and just mixing pitches, finally pitching and mixing in my 2-seam, 4-seamer up, and, had a good feel for my curveball and my slider, too, when I needed it. So it was definitely a good day, put it all together.
Yeah. The biggest improvement I've seen actually is the command of your 4-seam fastball. You had that against the Yankees. You had it last night. When you're going for the outside corner, you're hitting the black and the changeup. You saw Bryce Harper. He pulled off that ball so bad it was ridiculous. That was a great pitch. And it seems like the changeup now is your second best pitch. Is Mike wrong?
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's a pitch that really, since the time I got drafted by the O's, it was something that I felt really confident with and comfortable with, and that's one thing I didn't have in those first couple of starts of the season. I just didn't have a feel for it, and I'm starting to find my groove though, and I feel like my slider is really coming a long way too. So, if I can have those both pitches right about the same speed going different directions, definitely makes it a little bit easier.
Now, Kevin, I know you mentioned earlier about being thrown out in Boston. Did that have any effects on you in this game against the Nationals last night?
No, I just went out there and, tried to put together a good start. I wanted to do it in Boston, but, obviously some things happened. So, just trying to find my groove and really just kind of figure out everything. And mechanically, like you said, I was a little out of whack, but just went out there and, if I can keep guys off base, and I think that's the biggest thing. My first couple starts, my fastball command wasn't there, so I was walking guys, putting guys on base, and then, those little dink singles that I might give up, turn into 2 RBIs and 2 runs scored, and so, being able to minimize, definitely.
Last year, second half, you really turned it on. That's when you really did well. The first half, I didn't think you pitched bad at all in the first half. You just couldn't get any wins. It seemed like everything went against you. A broken bat single, an error at the wrong time, which this team doesn't make very often. You got to feel really a lot better about the way you're starting off this season than last year.
Yeah, it took me a really long time to get 2 wins last year, so it's good to get the second one out of the way. And like you said, I'm feeling good physically, and that's kind of the most important thing, especially early on in the season. And just kind of trying to change some things in my routine, but obviously last night kind of put it together, and hopefully that's just a progression going into this road trip we're about to have.
Well, Kevin, I know it takes an effort to come up here. We appreciate you coming up here and visiting with us here in the MASN broadcast.
Of course, anytime.
Kevin Gausman, who won last night's game for the Orioles as they beat the Nationals in the first game of the 4-game series.